I'm Derek. I'm the bass player.
My name's Dan. I play trombone and usually sing, but not tonight. Voice isn't doing good. We started over on the East Coast. We had a couple festivals we did in Canada that weren't necessarily part of the tour, but that was kind of a good way to get going, and a lot of kids turned out for those. And then I don't know, the big shows on the East Coast are always great. You know, being in Manhattan and Boston and DC, and going back to some of those clubs we've been going to for years and years and years, and seeing old friends and all that. I don't. You have something? Okay.
When we played Boston House of Blues, I finally got to walk across the street, actually Matt and I, our sax player, both of us, and go to a Red Sox game.
Oh, that's cool.
At least a few innings, probably the first 5 innings. And that meant a lot to me because I like baseball. And Fenway's historic. And that has nothing to do with music. I was going to say the last one.
Well, that's true because, yeah, we're ending in Southern California where we're from, and so there'll be like 4 or 5 shows in the area. And it's always good to see all the friends and family come out. And, you know, once a year we have to re-impress them that, you know, okay, I've been doing this for 20 years, but it's still a job. You know, look, here, this is what we do, you know. I'm looking forward to, we're all, most of us are drinkers of fine beers, and so to get to places in Colorado and on the West Coast that have a lot of great beer, we're sort of looking forward to that too. They definitely know what they're doing over there with the beers. I think sometimes the language barrier gets in the way, you know. I've found that no matter how much I think I know about beer, I go over there and try and ask for beers, and they just stare at me like I'm crazy and, you know, hand me a Budweiser or something. This must be what you want, you know. So we're still working out Europe a little bit, you know. But yeah, at the end of the U.S. part of this tour, we're going to go over to England and do some more shows. We're not usually there in the summertime, so it'll be nice. We usually go over in January, February, March, and it's icy cold and gray. So now it'll be 60 degrees and rainy and not snowy. I don't know.
Happy fun ska.
Yeah.
It's, you know, we just decided to stick with what the band's been doing most of its band life, and I think that's a good thing.
Good thing. Yeah, we've been using the term candy-coated fury to describe our sound to people for a long time, and we just thought, okay, this record, this is the one that sounds the most like that, I guess. We work really fast. You know, we go into the studio, or in this case anyway, it was springtime, and we're usually out on the weekends doing college shows all over the U.S. And so that leaves 4 or 5 days during probably about 4 days during the week to record. Because everything had to be done really fast, and we've learned over the years that's really the best way to capture our really crazy live sound is to record as if there's no second takes or something like that. So we had a lot of fun making it. Part of working so fast is you don't get a chance to obsess over everything and like think about the mistakes so much, you know. So we hope that the record conveys that sort of action-packed, what they call the caffeinated fury of Real Big Fish, right? It's not that we don't obsess over it. Aaron is still pulling his hair out over it, and he doesn't have much left. But it's let's get that jab in there. But I think he's learned. You know, we kind of have to take it away from him. You know, the labels learn, or you know, there's distribution label that we work with. There's just a certain point where we go, okay, it's done. You're still gonna be upset with it next year or whatever, but you know, just like a live show, you know, you can't go back in time. Yeah, when the show's over, you did it. So, we did a lot of recording of like re-recording songs, and we did a covers album, and we did a lot of other stuff in the last 5 years leading up to this because we were building a studio and sort of finding the best place to stick the mics and all that garbage that goes along with learning a space, I guess. And so we finally sort of zeroed in on how we were going to make the new record, and once we got going, it happened really fast. Rockridge is great. You know, they don't really make any demands on us. They just sort of they say, well, call us when you're done, you know, and we'll put it out. It's a great relationship. One of the guys there, Tom Durr, is he was back at Universal when we were first on MTV and all that stuff. I think he was head of the video department or anything, or something. And so we actually got on MTV, and some dumb punk band like us was on MTV, and it was really amazing. And so he always believed in us, even after a lot of the label people were like, okay, ska's over. He was one of those guys that always just kind of stuck by us. And then, maybe a decade went by where we didn't hear from him, or, we stayed on tour, and then he's like, oh, I'm doing this distribution thing. It's like, perfect. This is someone we can trust, and so they've always been great to us. It's nice not to have any kind of demands, because we put a lot of demands on ourselves, and it's such a weird type of music. Like it's not weird as in difficult or complicated. It's weird as in its lifeblood comes from the shows, from the sort of teenage kids that are there. Not necessarily record sales and all that. So it's hard to sort of quantify it for like an accountant or someone who's like planning a company's year or something like that. Their kids are very fickle and they don't pop up on the radar. All of a sudden they'll all just show up though at a show, and you're like, oh, okay, well. So I don't know how I got on this tangent, but but they're great. Oh, Rock Ridge, love them. Yeah.
Well, I love.
Oh, and that song. What song was it?
It's a lot.
I Know You Too Well. That's Little Miss Sunshine's girlfriend.
Really?
Oh yeah, that's my girlfriend Julie singing on that track.
Give her a plug. That's awesome. She did a great job. I love it.
Yeah.
It definitely gets that feeling back.
She sings well for a pharmacist. I think he got with the artist Tomfoolery and hashed out some ideas, but to me it's kind of reminiscent of sort of the Forces of Evil thing, a band that Aaron and Derek had a few years ago. There's a lot of elements that are always in Real Big Fish things. Like, there's always a gun. I don't know. We always have guns. We're not violent people, but it's just very Aaron. He sits around all day and looks at.
Or anything like that?
Yeah, he's a pretty good artist, and it's actually a lot like that style. It's very cartoony, but he also watches YouTube movies of cats, with party hats on and stuff. Like, I'm talking all day, and he just. Or monkeys, farting, or whatever it is. Like, he really likes little animals being silly. So to me, that's what I see there. It's just his iPad open to chipmunks gambling or something.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely had to. It was,
yeah, it's exciting artwork because it goes through the whole. You can sort of open up the whole thing into like a poster, and the artwork carries on through the whole thing. It's pretty neat. To have an actual artist work on something like that, it's nice.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's definitely fun.
Usually it's like, some intern of our manager throwing it together in, paint shop or something. So he's obsessed with that movie. He's loved it ever since it came out. It's one of the 3 or 4 movies he can recite every line to. If you just start him, say any line from the movie, he'll go until the movie's over. I think Big Trouble in Little China is another one.
If it's close enough, we usually are limited by how far our feet can take us, and then there's the time constraints.
Right.
I haven't seen any movies this trip, I don't think, but every once in a while something comes out that we have to see.
Yeah. 'Cause I've heard good things about Ted.
Yeah.
I think that's on our list.
Yeah, that looks good. I don't think you guys want to see Magic Mike, but it was good for girls. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That was.
Mm-mm.
No, my husband's.
Well, I was thinking about Magic Mike, and I was thinking that, like, even if you're trying to be the coolest boyfriend in the world or husband or whatever, and say, that's no big deal. Yeah, I'll go see that movie with you. It's just you're not gonna like it. There's just no way. Like, even if you're totally like okay with the whole idea of like sitting there next to you, but I don't know. I don't even really spend money on the big budget summer action movies anymore. I just keep getting let down. So I'm like sitting there the whole time going like, this was $20. $20.
Heaven forbid you eat something or drink
Right, oh,
something
yeah.
somewhere, forget about it.
I've got a 4-year-old, so we tend to go see like Winnie the Pooh and stuff like that a lot. Yeah, I put on really hyper-violent Asian anime for the kid, and she doesn't really like it.
Oh no.
But I figure at least we could both watch something. That's a hard one. we've always because we're a ska band and we've got a bunch of different people in the band. You know, it's not just three dudes. And we all come from different backgrounds too, right? I mean, it's if you go to school playing trumpet, you're probably going to be listening to mostly trumpet artists. So even if you really like heavy metal or whatever, there's going to be this huge trumpet aspect, whether it's German polka or whatever. So I don't know. I think all of our iPods are going to look really strange to most people. I'd say I'm probably the only one in the band that really keeps up with like hip hop music, and so maybe that would be weird to people. I mean, I like a lot of other music too, but
people probably wouldn't think.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't expect that. Yeah.
Anyone in particular that you are liking?
Oh, I like the new LP record. Oh, it sounds like I'm repeating myself. The new LP. I like the new LP record, Cancer for the Cure. It's really great. Yeah. How about?
First thing that popped into my head was Barry Manilow.
Yeah.
That would be a shocker, wouldn't it? I can't remember the last time I pushed play on those tracks, but
it's there.
they're there. Every once in a while you get the hankering for, I write the songs that make the young girls something. Yeah. My iPod's a mishmash of all kinds of things.
Yeah.
In fact, I guess I do have an iPod. I didn't even bring it with me this trip.
What, really?
Yeah.
It's because I hog the stereo.
Yeah, this guy's the DJ. I'll just enjoy his different stuff, and then when I get home, I can go back to my own stuff. Plus, after listening to music every night, pretty loud, I don't mind not listening to it on the other times.
Right. Kind of need that break. Your ears need a little break from that. Makes sense.
Yeah. I've been listening to TED Talks with my Android app. Yeah, it's just some people that are much smarter than us talking about really interesting things.
Cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like those Radio Lab episodes where they food
Like,
for your brain.
Yeah. And usually each one they're usually talking about the frontier of science or technology, whatever the developing thing they're talking about. And so you can't help but get excited because you're like, we're going to do that one day? Oh, that's neat, And each of the conferences usually ends with one or two people getting they get the winners or the people that have been brought there to give their spiel. It's their chance to sort of appeal to the audience, which is usually people like, the founders of Google, and they're very wealthy, industrialist type people that are moving things forward. Whatever, Al Gore, people like that. And so they have this last chance to sort of make this plea, like, I am going to stop hunger in the world. All I need is this much money and your help. 2 weeks later, they've got their funding and they've started their NGO or whatever it is. It's pretty exciting. I'd say our singer Aaron has probably in my opinion, the weirdest taste in music. Although he would probably say the same about me, but he likes Right Said Fred. At any given,
I saw something like one of the.
He has all the. You didn't know they had 9 records, did you? No, he has all of them. He listens to a lot of like the hair metal.
Striper.
Yeah.
I saw that it was like you mentioned Right Said Fred's Tiffany.
Yeah.
Striper.
Yeah, he likes all pop music. And the thing that unifies all of us is we all do like reggae and ska music, and we listen to a lot of that when we're all together.
Some time off, and then hopefully we'll have booked some dates at various colleges and universities. It's usually the fall and spring routine, with some smaller tours mixed in, sometimes South America, sometimes Australia. This time we might even try and do, I think, parts of Asia or the Pacific Islands area. I hope that happens.
Oh, hey fans. Keep going out to those shows. You're the best. I love watching you guys dance every night. We wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. It's the best thing in the world, going out on stage and seeing a bunch of crazy lunatics waving their arms. I mean, we come in contact with a lot of bands that are way more famous than us, but they can't sell 100 tickets and fill a room, and you guys keep showing up at all the shows, and it makes this the best thing ever. Yeah. Go fans.